Hello, Libra. How's everybody doing today? Welcome to your November forecast. Really looking forward to breaking down all the messages that are coming through, both in spirit here and also we'll be seeing here in the Celtic Cross in just a moment. I'd like to begin by introducing myself. If you're brand new, my name is Nicholas Ashbaugh. And as I said, we'll be looking at Libra for the month of November. This can be used for your sun, your rising, and also for your moon sign. And I also welcome cross-watching or looking on behalf of someone that you love. So no matter how this is of use to you, you're welcome. And I hope you enjoy what's in store for you. For anybody that's a return viewer, welcome back. It's good to see you. Just a quick update for those of you that are new, and so you know what to expect. The way that I separate this out is the beginning portion is channeled messages. So I have all of those in front of me. And basically, the way that I get that is I meditate before I get started, and also kind of assemble anything that I got through dreams and meditation the night before, and try to kind of pull together an overarching view of what's coming through for the month. So spirit plus me at the beginning here, just that channeled information. Then we'll move along to the Celtic Cross, and I've already selected a deck that kind of has a Halloween theme for us, even though we're looking at November. So we'll do that. And then after that, basically, I will expand the forecast to look at health, wealth, love, and destiny. We'll do a quick review and then go a little deeper into some of the main themes of the month. And I call that the soul path. Really gives you a chance to go a little bit deeper and clear any of the questions that we might have. The cards do a pretty good job of showing us everything that we need to focus on, but sometimes there's questions, and I try to answer those questions in that latter portion. And then we'll do a little bit of integration work with a meditation and a sound bath at the end. So I think it's a nice way to pull it all together, and I hope you enjoy it. Without any further ado, let's get started. But actually, one more thing I always like to touch upon is, of course, welcoming my moderators, Ryan and Maria. They do a great job of answering high-level questions and keeping everything organized here. So thank you to them. And you can feel free to reach out to them if you, again, have a high-level question. And the way that I work with Super Chat is a little different than some other readers out there. I don't do Q&A, basically because I have to stay focused, and I'm in a bit of a channel when I'm doing this. So if you'd like to do Super Chat, no problem. You can use this icon here to give some stickers like we just saw there with Hannah and Janus. But I usually will wait until the very end to say thank you, but thanks in advance to anybody that's done it and anyone that is about to do it. I appreciate it. On replay, there's another option. You can use the applaud button. It only works right now on desktop and Android. I think iOS is coming later, so if you can't see it, that's why. All right, let's get into the messages. Libra, I'm super excited here. Because this is an important period of time here. You're wrapping up a retrograde. A lot of you are coming out of a birthday month. If you're watching it live, you're watching during a birthday month. And let's kind of see how you can capitalize on this really sort of transitional energy, because in many ways, this is kind of like your January. And I'm going to skip to it's part 2 of the first line of messages that I have. But that's really what I saw was the god Janus, which can look towards the future and also towards the past. It's a two-headed god or two-faced god, really. And that kind of sums up the energy of this month, the magical energy of standing within that portal and deciding, am I going to live in the past or am I going to walk into the future? Do I have any unfinished business? And it's appropriate because retrograde is squarely kind of ending right at the beginning of November, around the 3rd or 4th, depending on where you live. So a little bit of wrap up before that portal closes, and you still have the ability to release and then also to embark on new things. So that's what November's opening up for you. The important thing with Janus is to release what was and explore what's possible, what could be. Because if we're constantly holding on to things that haven't happened or things that make us angry or frustrations from the past, we're never really looking at the present and kind of like capitalizing on those opportunities. So this month, I'm going to hopefully help you shift the focus. One of the things that's kind of on the other side of the past, if Janus is looking at the past, is to understand, of course, Libra, one of the most creative signs. You're very capable, but I feel like for some of you, there's been either family or a boss or someone in your life that is kind of holding you back or making you wonder, am I able to do this? Or you've lost that sense of confidence. If you're feeling stuck right now, it's probably the universe trying to get you to go in another direction. So I use the phrase like brick wall or glass ceiling. Brick wall is just hitting that dead end, feeling like I've been doing this for a while. It could be a relationship. Maybe you've been dating someone for a few years and you're thinking, where's this going? Why isn't the person interested in the next level of whatever this is? It could be a job where you've been producing consistently and doing a great job and you're watching other people around you sort of getting to that next level. Irrespective of what it is, it's a sign that, one, take yourself more seriously and see yourself as very capable, very worthwhile when it comes to advancement and appreciation. And if you're not receiving it, then it's time to seek it out somewhere else. And to that end, one time when I was in a sort of dead end situation like that, I had a friend that said, just be really successful. That's the best way to disprove people, or I don't really like the idea of getting even. I just kind of like surprise people and show them, hey, wow, that person really knew what they were doing. Just really invest in yourself, be successful. And I just got this feeling that it's time for you to rise up. And if you can't do it where you're at, then go somewhere else. Now, one thing with these sort of decisions, when it happens, sometimes you can do it immediately. Sometimes it takes a year or two. Sometimes this move can be something that can happen over the course of half a decade or a decade. The important thing for you this month is to kind of set your sights on what it is you're trying to do. And I think that once that happens, the timing for you is going to fall into place. So that part I can't tell you. I just see that it's time to make a decision and time to start to turn the wheel and then let the ship catch up with you or let the car catch up with you. So of course, whenever there's a new beginning, it can feel like a little bit unnerving, but it can also be exhilarating. For any of you that, think back to a first date or the first time that you maybe move out of the house and you're on your own, or the first day of school or a new job, all of these things, you get butterflies and you also maybe feel like you want to throw up. It's a combination of the two. So why not see this though as the exciting piece, the butterflies? It's a chance to make a breakthrough and to get through that, like I said, that imaginary ceiling or that wall that's been holding you back. This is your time. And it's, like I said, super powerful since coming out of a big birthday month, coming out of a retrograde period, you've got a lot of positive energy that is lifting you up. So ride that energetic wave and continue the positive movement. Please, please, please don't limit yourself by what others in your life have said or have made you feel. Also what they might expect you to do. You are not living through the lens of their perception. You're living through your own eyes, through your own body, through your own head. So imagine bigger, better, and you have to sort of like dream it before you can do it. So this month, you're capable, but I feel like you're being pulled back or stuck a little bit. You have a chance to decide, am I ready to move? Because I see you firmly in that doorway looking in both directions. And if you start to embrace the possibility, then it gets really exciting and you don't, who knows where it's going to head. So this is a time for beginnings for you and I'm excited for you. To that end, it's your soul is kind of coming through loud and clear today saying, please, this is your chance to make a change that matters for you, to be authentic. I didn't write it this way, but I'm going to, I want to express what's also coming through intuitively as I'm seeing this. Make the change while you can, because there are limits sometimes on these windows. They're kind of like wormholes, right? They open up and then they could close. So as these things kind of open up and close, it's going to be really, really important for you to decide, like, now is the time. I'm ready today. Let's do this. Because it may not open up again in the same way, or it may take longer for you to have that same opportunity. So whether it's starting something new or it's leaving something behind or whatever it is you're trying to do, I feel like there is a little bit of a push right now to do it. What are you waiting for, Libra? That's sort of my rhetorical question for you to meditate on and to maybe even quantify and think, well, I'm waiting for this and this. Great, now you know, and now you know what to focus on. So whatever you're waiting for, figure out how you can accelerate things a little bit. And if the waiting is just fear, if you don't know what you're waiting for, then it's just time to make that decision. What this is going to do for you is allow you to step into the star energy. The star is in tarot, but it's also meaning increased visibility for you. And I'm going to skip around here a little bit. That increased visibility is good. For many of you, it means like there's a little bit of a platform. So when you have that moment in the spotlight, or when you have more people looking at you, use it. Use it to further what you want to do. And also, if you can help somebody else, leverage that as well. It's a chance to elevate yourself and others. And that's what good leaders do. It's sort of like making sure everybody's getting a chance to sort of shine as well. Now, there are a couple things that could hold you back, and I always want to hit on those so that you don't have to fall into those pitfalls. That's why we're here early, so that you know and you can work on it. One thing that I saw pretty clearly kind of play out in the theater in my mind as I was sleeping last night was this. It felt like it was a work situation or a social situation where what you said was taken out of context, and it was more meant to be a push in the right direction. Sometimes we're casual with speech, and this was something you would more sort of say maybe to a team that you were coaching rather than coworkers or something like that. So to me, the language was a little too casual, or it was a little, it could be misinterpreted. So I think it's really important to take your time and organize your thoughts and think about the audience in front of you. So maybe it's family and you don't want to talk about certain topics. Maybe it's work and you have to be more professional and you have to button up something that could be misconstrued. Sometimes, and it's so sad because I see you as a star on the rise this month, there are people around you that look for an opportunity to kind of like come in and take your moment away. So don't let them do that. Be smart, say less, really organize your thoughts before you say it. You can always add, but you can't subtract. Once it's out there in the universe, it's out there. So take your time in communication this month. And of course, if you're watching it live, I'm not just talking about November. I'm also talking about October, and both months have a retrograde. So just be smart about that, okay? Now, as I said, things can and most likely will boomerang right back. And you're going to then have to contextualize. So one thing that's going to help you this month is if there's a difficult situation that pops up, maybe this is a breakdown in communication with a client, a coworker, even someone in your life where maybe you've purchased something and there's a vendor and they're not taking that back. Keep the paperwork. I think a paper trail is going to be super important. And then you can say, I said right here, this is what's going on. It'll help you with the contextualizing, or you're going to need a second set of ears and you'll have to pull them in and say, oh yeah, I heard the same thing. He or she is saying that correctly. So you're going to want a paper trail. You might want to witness for certain things like that. Make sure that you're covering all bases and passing it through legal approval if needed. Speaking of which, if you have to defend yourself, what I also saw was there could be someone that tries to talk over you or take away your chance to be present or do something like that. So make sure that you always get a chance to be at the table and say your side of the story. Make sure that you have a really good representation. And better yet, hopefully none of this has to happen, because it could just be a matter of letting someone else deal with that fire. Because that thing seems a little bit messy, whatever it is. So again, less is more. Make sure you understand something before you talk about it. If you get yourself into a pickle, not a big deal. Just make sure you have the paperwork or you have good representation. You are basically very adept at diplomacy and communication, so I think you can work your way out of this, but I'm trying to help you from having that. Let's look at the last column, which is a lot easier here, and it's really just about an acknowledgement that you can make it work. There's a little bit of a resource crunch for you. So the card that came to me mentally was the 6 of Pentacles, which is someone holding the scales and deciding how and when to sort of dole out their resources or their time. So just make some smart choices this month, particularly when it comes to if you're picking up the slack for anyone in your life. This could be your partner, a coworker, maybe even someone else, a friend or someone in your life, and it just feels like I'm constantly trying to cover or pick up the pieces, or like they put their shift on me at work and I just take it. Stop, because what happens is you don't kind of keep track. We're not always keeping a little tally of these things, but energetically it's taxing you unnecessarily. So sometimes we don't even say anything, we just keep doing it. But these small acts of energetic conservation, when you say no, are going to allow you to get a big gain energetically, emotionally, and also when it comes to productivity. So saying no here and there, whenever it's appropriate, it's going to add up in a positive way so that when you say yes, you can do a better job. And also you're going to have a little bit extra left so you can be the star that I saw coming through, so that you can refocus and decide what the next goal is for you, because Janus can also lead to the Two of Wands. In fact, in one of the decks that I have, that's how he's illustrated. So you need to be able to have that time for reflection and meditation and planning this month. And if you're constantly helping, or I would even say enabling other people to not be their best, then it's tapping you out, and that's probably not the best investment of time and energy. So breakthrough month for you, a chance to move on or up or out, a challenge when it comes to just overall communication and making sure that you're only speaking about things that are really worth your time and energy. You could just get embroiled in something that's not worth it. So just be authentic, say no, and focus on what you're trying to do. Some of you might have a chance with this spotlight moment to help someone else, and if you can do that, great. That's a high-level summary of what I just talked about. I'll go a little bit deeper after we look at the cards here, but I'm going to stack up all these index cards and get ready to get into the Celtic Cross, and we'll look at the messages that are coming through. As I'm getting organized here, just a reminder that while I do the Celtic Cross, I like to remain quiet. It allows me to observe the location of the cards, to receive additional messages, and I'll do plenty of talking afterwards to kind of break down what each of these means. All right, so without any additional delay, let's get into the month ahead here. Interesting. We're going to let it happen here. We got two at once. All right. So the cards are having some fun with me today. A couple flipped out at the top, and I actually ended up using what I would normally use for the catalyst. I flipped a couple cards, but it's sort of like the guides are having some fun here. So I want to talk about the crowning cards for a second here. You had two, which I actually see as really auspicious here, because this is basically clarifying this. Big changes, positive changes. The sun was first, and then the tower kind of flipped out on top of it. So positive movement, but also big movement as well for you. So some of you may find yourself in a place where you might have spent a long time building something up, you know, a career path, reputation, even a relationship, and now suddenly rapid changes are happening after a long period of gestation or waiting. And the tower can be positive, especially if it's on top of the sun. This is a very auspicious card in its upright position, very beneficial card. So what I'm seeing is big changes, positive changes, but it could be difficult for you to keep up with some of this stuff, which is why when I was talking a little bit earlier about energy management, that's going to be increasingly important. So we'll talk more about that in a second, but it's top of mind. So a lot of times this is your focus. And so you may find it hard to keep up or to pull it all together. So stay organized this month, okay? So your catalyst, which is that connective thread that helps keep us in the right place at the right time, we have this passageway, which was reversed, and it says tread thoughtfully. And that also is in very close alignment to what I was talking about with communication. And anything is possible. Movement and kind of finding your ways is going to be okay. But when we look at this, and then we also look at these cards, there's a lot of parity between them. So this is saying things will be okay, but you could trip or fall. When we look at this bridge, it's a very, there's no railing on that. So you've got to be focused. You can't kind of let your attention stray in another direction. And so I think that you are on a very good track this month, but there is a potential to get sidetracked or to lose your focus or your balance. So just don't. If you're having a bad day, or if someone's kind of having a moment where it's like the sky is falling, try to pull yourself into a grounded position, and then remember, like, I've got a lot of work to do. I've got some things to focus on, and I need to get from this side to this side, and I can't do that if I'm being dragged down by some of this drama around me. So yeah, tread thoughtfully with speech, with action, and just being organized, not letting something slip or fall by the wayside. So concentration, focus, taking care of yourself, resting, all of that is super, super important. All right. So interestingly enough, your center energy is almost like a well-kept secret. We have the Hermit here, and she's waiting for her moment here to kind of come out and have like a revelation. So I feel like for some of you, this is your time to conserve, to wait, to plan. But I do feel like, especially with the sun in the crowning position, there's a reveal. So this could be for some of you a pleasant surprise that comes to you. For some of you, it might be more of a surprise that you're going to share. It's something that you might want to develop too. You could just be surprised, because to me, the sun is about like sometimes giving birth. So there could be something where all of a sudden you feel this desire to try something new, and you start a new, it could be a one-year journey on it too, because it can indicate like one circle around the sun. But where is your heart? Where is your creative self? What do you want to create? What do you want to give life to? What do you want to breathe your energy into? For some of you, there's that aha moment. This is what I should be doing. Maybe I should go back to school, or maybe this relationship is something that I really want to invest in and it surprises me. Something hits a chord with you, or you release it and it's going to strike a chord with other people, and that's going to change your way of living in a big way. So it's either an epiphany or a revelation or a big reveal. So the important thing to manage this period of time between the portals is the Two of Pentacles. And I like that we see that it's really about balance. I always see the Two of Pentacles more of a balance card than like a financial card. A lot of times it's about work-life balance. And it can also be a choice between two really enticing opportunities on your plate that you're trying to figure out, like, how do I get this all done? The answer is you should be able to get it all done. It's just a matter of time, energy, and balance. And so we have this Two of Pentacles creating the figure 8 here. So it's a great new cycle for you. This could be one that sustains. We have the star and the moon here, or kind of the sun and the moon, but they're just two pentacles basically. I like that. That's just showing that connection between spirit and earth. And for you, maybe it's good to keep something under wraps, because we have the Devil card here in the near future reversed. We also have the Ten of Wands. So I read this as something that could get out there. So it's better not to talk about it too much until you're ready. Whatever it is, maybe it's a birth announcement, marriage announcement, divorce, release of a product, decision to move, something that you want to share. Just wait until it's almost happened. Maybe the day before, the day of, or after it's happened. Share it when it's a sure thing. Because sometimes the way that you can look at this is it's kind of like your connection between you and the divine, whatever it is that you're creating. It's your business until it's not your business, until you decide to kind of share it. Okay, so whatever it is there, I would say fully bake this thing and then let it come out. So, but you're not going to be able to do it for much longer. I see a big shift happening on the horizon for you before the year is up. It's going to be like November or December based on what we're seeing here, okay? Five of Cups. When I was asking you, what are you waiting for, Libra? This card is kind of the answer to that for some of you. Is there something that you feel like I need to fix, or I really wish that that worked out, or how am I going to deal with this? There's something from the past where there's a little bit of emotional connection to it. And before you can focus on what's here, you have to make peace with the healing, or just kind of acknowledge like it didn't work and that's okay, because I'm not defined by that lack of progress there. It's what I do with now. It's what I can do next. Like I said, the best way to show people like, hey, I'm not done yet is just to be super successful and to keep on moving and to surprise them. Surprising them is fun, right? I know that that's what I always try to do. It seems like a move is imminent for many of you, and this looks very much like that portal that I was talking about with Janus. We see 10 of Wands here, and it's going between day and night, or between two seasons, or between Earth and the sky. So that's a portal to me. But you have to push. The 10 of Wands isn't always easy, right? You see, there's the burden of having to take it that final step, that final mile. And so I would say to you, this month you're almost there. But we see a couple of passages that you have to make. Sometimes it's tricky, sometimes you fall, sometimes you get back up. The main thing here, as we see with your crowning card, is it doesn't matter how hard this is, because the tower is on top. The source of it is good. It's worth it. It's worth the fight. Whatever you're trying to do, don't give up. This is the universe. This is shadow energy coming in and saying, are you sure you want to do this? We'll take it away. We'll show you another path. This is you saying, no, this is my creation. This is my baby. This is what I want to do. This is me. Maybe you want to go back to school. Like I said, maybe you want to have a child. Maybe you want a relationship, whatever it is for you that you want to create. Libra, you are a creator. You are artistic. So this is you coming through loud and clear and saying, I own it. I'm connecting to it. Go away, tower. I know what I need to do. So the tower is just kind of trying to trip you up, but the way it's positioned, I'm not that nervous about it. It's just a pain in the butt. Right? And we have the devil here, which we talked about already. This is this is keeping your mouth shut and really evaluating your alliances around you. Friendships, love interests, family members. There's someone in your midst that tries, but I think they're well-intentioned, but they may just spill the beans. So make sure that that you're just careful about who you're trusting this month. And the other thing with this, it goes back to the communication where something can just get misconstrued or the context is lost. So just try to contextualize everything, put it in a frame so people understand how it should be understood. And even check in and say, does that make sense? I'll do that a lot with people. I'll just say, are you following? Do you read? And that can kind of give everyone a chance to just say, I don't know, actually, what you said there concerns me. So give them a chance to say something before they have to bring it to a larger audience. If you have one of those uh-oh moments where something gets out, in my undergrad degree, for a while, I studied public relations. I just decided that wasn't my cup of tea, journalism and public relations. But with PR, one of the rules is just to get ahead of the message. So if someone is trying to blackmail you, or if someone is trying to gossip about something, or if you just feel like you need to say something, get ahead of that nonsense that the other people are doing and just control the message and say, you might hear some stuff. Here's what went on. If you have any questions, come straight to me. I'll clear it up. That's more powerful than having to wait for something and then defend yourself. So that's another way to avoid some of the things that I was seeing in the index cards that I wrote earlier. Just get ahead of it if someone is giving you a hard time, okay? Because they're probably going to spill more beans in that case, and you want to make sure that you clean it up. All right, it's a weird phrase. But anyway, the good news this month is it's all about moving forward. We got the Wheel of Fortune in your ego card here this month, soul card. So I feel really positive about it. New cycles. For many of you, if there is something you're trying to create, launch, or reveal, the timing is right. It's going to be fine. There's a couple of hiccups with the tower and the devil. Got at least two hiccups. So one of them is to not lose your focus. And the other one is to just make sure that you trust people that you're talking to and that they don't say something that they shouldn't. I think if you follow through with those two warnings, you're going to be okay. And ultimately, this is a successful card here. The devil was also reversed, which to me is a freedom card. So this is your chance to unshackle yourself. It's like taking those chains and throwing them away. It's the Shawshank Redemption at the very end when he's coming through the water and feeling that sense of liberation. So what is holding you back? What do you feel is your shackle that's kind of keeping you from being free? And whatever that is, this is also like breaking that bond as well. So it's your chance to do it, but you have to decide. That's the most powerful and most important thing with anyone, whether it's, going to school, breaking an addiction, building something. You have to just see it, believe it, and then do it. So it's up to you, Libra. But Wheel of Fortune here, creation of a new cycle. I like what I see. All right, in the environment we have, for some of you, you're just afraid to let go. When I see the Four of Pentacles, I like that we get a little hint of what you would see in the Thoth deck. I believe it's called Works or something in that one, but it's a foundational card. A lot of times in Rider-Waite-Smith, it can be one of like holding back or not having enough. For this one, I like that she's building something here. Little sandcastles, it looks like. So I see you putting down the foundation for something really great. And I'm going to still pull a little bit of the Rider-Waite-Smith interpretation, which is it's time to release, it's time to show, it's time to reveal it. So don't be afraid to do that, because I feel like this is the right time. Don't hold back. Don't edit yourself too much either when you're starting that new path. So if you're young and you want to go to school and you decide like it's a sort of something your parents wouldn't approve of, it's okay if this is what you're going to do for a living. If you're mid-age and you're kind of trying to figure something out and it's sort of like, I don't know if I can do this because people will think, why are you doing this mid-career or midlife? Why not? Just because we reach certain ages doesn't mean that we stop growing. I have the same desires to change and try new things as I did when I was like 8 or 11 or 21. So we're constantly just growing and trying new things. So don't limit yourself, as I said earlier. Love is on the horizon here for some of you. We have this in hopes, fears, and possibilities. So the King of Cups is showing me it's around the corner. For some of you, this could be just being happy, because this is, of course, Cups rules emotions. So I feel like some of you, after you make this change, you got to go through the fire. You've got to go through, like unshackle those chains. And after you do that, the true you is coming through, and other people are seeing this. So with the King of Cups here, it's a celebration. It's also maybe a great partnership. And that looks like we have a little Shih Tzu here. Apollo's a Lhasa Apso. You guys ask a lot in Yorkie, so that reminds me of my little dog. But you're going to find that friendship, that loyalty, or that support that maybe some of you have been seeking. But it's because you've done the internal work on yourself that the people are attracted to you, or the opportunities are attracted to you. Could be a water sign for some of you coming in as well. So it's on the horizon, hopes and fears. We'll talk about it more when I get into relationships, but it's there. And if it comes through, I talk about it for you guys. Ultimately, this whole month is about you feeling a sense of empowerment, ownership, and control. For some of you, you're taking it back, because we have the Emperor card here, who's more of like a builder, or well, he's kind of like a manager, but it's your chance to sort of do it. And in my dream, by the way, that's what I saw, was someone who was a manager stepping in and rolling up their sleeves and getting back and doing something that they loved. Sometimes when we are in the role of parent, teacher, mentor, manager, or even just as we get further along in our careers and lives, we lose touch with what it was, what the source was that we liked, the sun. And this is why I'm like, get back to the source energy this month, the creative energy. Even if it's not at all related to what you do, what you did, what you studied for a living, it doesn't matter. If you're retired, this is also about, hey, I need to find something that makes me look forward to getting up in the morning. I was talking to a client the other day about vitality, and she wasn't quite following. I said, when you wake up in the morning, how do you feel? Is it like, yeah, it's a day, or okay, it's Thursday, whatever. We need to get into the vitality in November, because you've got a lot of positive energy. So if you have that sort of feeling, then what's causing it? Go back a couple steps. Is it because you've got to go to that office with the crazy people? Is it because you're dealing with some relationship stress at home? Is it because there's something internally that you need to work on, or in your health that you need to work on? Whatever the is, let's work on it, getting it to yeah, because life is short, life is precious, and you've got some really great sort of portal energy that's opening up The veil is thin, as we know, at the beginning of the month. You've worked through the retrograde and the birthday stuff, and now it's your chance to, again, end this year on a positive note. Haven't we gone through enough craziness in 2020? I think, yes, we have. So let's make sure that it ends on a really positive note, okay? So we have sadness and isolation. Hello. This is in the health card, and it's an end to that. We have this in reverse, and I feel like for some of us, we have to find a way to feel a new sense of connection, because unfortunately, as we're looking at on a global scale, the pandemic continues, as you can see. And so we have to find ways to rise above that. And I think it's hard. It's getting increasingly hard for some of us, right? So this is acknowledging that. The card is reversed though, and it's showing you that there is ways that you can express yourself and connect. And it's important to find the little things to celebrate and the ways to feel free. And please keep those connections open. Personally, what I do, I have friends here in Los Angeles and Chicago and on the East Coast, and I do my best to do Zoom chats with them, FaceTime chats, and just text them randomly, and it makes a difference. And I talked to an old friend from Boston a week ago. They called me, and it was just a nice sort of thing to revisit those old connections. And every time I do that, I feel a lot less sort of alone. And the way that I do my business too is, when I talk to clients, I talk to them on the phone. It's a voice reading when I do it, but I have at least 5 or 6 of those a week. Plus, I talk to my friends. I find ways to keep people in my life. So you can be isolated but connected, and I think that's the secret right now. If you're feeling alone, please talk to somebody. Go to a psychologist, or if you can't afford one, there's a lot of great resources out there to help people. So if you're feeling lost or lacking hope, this is the time, and it gets tricky. I'm looking at the month of November, so a lot of times this is when we would be doing in North America, like America in particular, like Thanksgiving. So I know that holidays can be a tricky time for stuff like that. So make sure that you reach out. Looking at some other messages with respect to health, this is a good time to stop doing something. So if you want to give up smoking, drinking, eating better, or if you need to kind of work on your overall health and fitness routine, Devil Reverse is saying you can let go of something. So I like that. There's a little bit of a warning this month to just focus on consistency when you're making these changes, because the Tower basically is an inconsistent or a disorganized card. Also, just to watch walking. If I ever get the 5 of Pentacles or the Tower, it can mean like tripping or being distracted. So that's a warning there as well. Overall, things look pretty good with the 10 of Wands. There's always a general note to watch how you are carrying things and what your backpack, purse, or attaché looks like, because it's about bearing too much load on your back. So that's something to focus on as well. Those are the high-level notes for health. Looking at wealth, we have breakthrough. We have this eruption of light moment. And it's like, this is like the Tower reversed, because that almost reminds me of a tower or a volcano. So this is you coming through and rebuilding something. And that's basically what we have here in the outcome, is this architect coming through and deciding to kind of like renovate or add something new here. So I feel like for many of you, this is a chance to look at it from another perspective. To take the Tower reverse and say, I want to get ahead of something, I want to talk about it. If you're in a company right now that's restructuring, and there's so many that are doing that right now, of course, what you want to make sure that you're doing is talking to your boss or manager and making sure that you're just be honest. Say, hey, I've heard that we are going to get bought out, or we're having a layoff, or there's going to be restructuring. I want to be an active participant in the changes that happen. So I'm open to this, or if there's this new opportunity that opens up, how about that? Make sure that you talk. This is a long time ago, like 2004 or something for me, but there was a restructuring, 2005 actually, that was happening at a company that I was working at, where 2 big companies were coming together. And there were a couple of other people that were proactive, and they ended up getting a position that I would have loved. And it was just because they spoke up earlier, and I was just trying to play it safe and all of that. No, don't. If you want something, speak up. That's what I'm seeing. Your voice matters. Get ahead of it. It's not like you're doing anything wrong. It just shows initiative. So Tower reverse means I know a change is about to happen, or I'm going to make a change, and I'm going to be actively participating and communicating my desires throughout that change. So you have more power than you think is what I see with this as well. Going back to that first message, you're more capable and talented than you may realize. So same thing right here. Other things that I'm seeing is it's really time if you're not in a, like, so this is showing me your skill and capacity. This is showing me disorganization. So if you're in a company where there is a lack of leadership, or if you're in a family, because this can also just be hierarchy and structures in your life. So if there's some sort of, if there's some sort of a group of people that you're trying to work with and it's just a scattered mess, this is also sort of you deciding, like, I don't need to be a part of that organization anymore. So it could be a family, a friend group, or a company. But what I'm seeing is it's dissolving a bit, okay? And that's okay. It's opening up new opportunities, and ultimately this is leading to happiness for you, okay? Let's look at your love and relationship message. So it's about expression. And it's interesting because I had a card the other day where I was talking about it was red and it should have been green. We see a nice mix here of the two. And sexuality is both this sort of gentle heart space, but it's also the second chakra, sometimes even the root chakra. It's those, got to pull all the frequencies through. And so for you, can you express yourself? Do you feel safe to express yourself in the relationships that you care most about? It doesn't have to just be sexually. It could also just be showing those creative sides of yourself, or those true pieces of yourself that maybe you're having a hard time expressing. This could be coming out for some of you, or dating someone that you love that other people don't approve of. So it could just be an unconventional partnership opportunity or friendship opportunity. And there's maybe people in your life that are struggling with being bigoted or having prejudice, and this is challenging that. What I see in this case is it is totally okay for you to break through and say, I don't need that. I'm not part of that. So this is your chance to be yourself, integrate and be you. Love is love. And if you are expressing that love in a pure way, then if people don't like that, there's something wrong with them, I believe. And that's what that card is showing. We got to talk about the devil when I'm looking at relationships. This is a lot of times about wanting something that's difficult to get. So the devil reverse is showing me that you kind of already know that this is probably not the best thing. So there could be someone in your life that you're really interested in, but they're too messed up at the moment, because the Tower card could just show someone that has had a lot of life changes. Maybe they lost someone in their life. Maybe they're on the rebound and broke up or got divorced. Maybe they just don't have the focus point, the energy to kind of like put into a relationship. So whatever it is, there's something unattainable about a person in your life right now. I think it's better to walk away from that right now. Let them sort themselves out. And when they're ready, if they're ready, then you can revisit it. Because it just seems like the timing's off a little bit. Same thing for yourself. Like, I think that there could be something where you're just kind of wondering, am I in the right place at the right time with this situation, whether it's a commitment or a contract with an employer or a lover, like a marriage. If it doesn't feel clear and clean, then this is a chance to try to express yourself and get that out there. Because this card reverse can also be kind of like controlling or restrictive or shameful. None of that stuff should exist in a true elevated relationship. So time to clean things up. When you do all of that, though, on the horizon, not necessarily showing up right now, maybe in 3 to 4 months, actually, we see a much better person coming through. So if you're single and looking, it's around the corner, not right now, probably a little bit around like New Year's or after. If you're looking at yourself, I just see a better sort of energy coming through and you're a little bit happier. And that's the thing to focus on, because that's an attractive force. In existing relationships, it's going back to that unconditional love, because that's the King of Cups. There's no filters there. It's just love. It's just joy. It's fluid, and it's kind of open. So if you can be open and safe like that, it's going to be fine. If you can't, if there's some control issues, which definitely would come through with Emperor reversed or Devil reversed, then it's time to break through those control issues. Okay. Especially if you're being made to feel, again, ashamed or somehow not being able to express yourself in relationships. All right. With respect to business, Tower, Devil, sexuality, there's some control stuff going on. Make sure that you have that seat at the table, as I sometimes say, and that you get your voice out there. Make sure, again, like you have good representation and a good lawyer. So as you're looking at contracts, the Devil, it's all about the details. So look at the details and make sure that you know what you're signing. Okay. And finally, we have Air Guardian here. And the interesting thing is, like, it should have been shifted probably. So there's a connection, and we see a very air-focused card for the catalyst. So as I'm looking at this, it's about shifting your perception. For some of you, you may find a way out. It's not down here, it's up there. So you have to kind of elevate your thoughts to see the way out sometimes. So the Destiny card is really saying, when you look at it from a different angle, you realize I can do this. So you can do this. You just have to think it through a little bit. And this is you too. Hello, air. So really just kind of own your abilities this month. Go higher in thoughts and then follow through with action, okay? Let's go ahead now and do a quick review of everything. And then we'll get into the soul path and get some additional insights. As I was starting the channeled messages, the first set of thoughts that came through is that you're much more capable than sometimes you give yourself credit for, or maybe than other people have allowed you to see. So this is your time to kind of wake up and embrace that. If you're hitting a brick wall at work, or like a glass ceiling, whatever you want to use, whatever metaphor, if you just feel held back, it's time to move on. You're being blocked for a reason. The universe is trying to make you go up or around this current situation. Success is the best way to disprove those who doubt your abilities. That was a nice way to say, if someone doesn't believe you, don't get even. Just like do amazing things, because then it's win-win. You're in a good place, and you're also kind of showing them, hey, I always had this potential. Like the god Janus, you're kind of firmly between ends and beginnings this month. So you have to decide if you're ready to like let go of the past, because that's the only thing that's holding you back. And then you can focus on what you want to make happen. New beginnings, new starts. It's like all the things that I talked about: dating, starting a new school, ending something. It's always a little scary, but it's also fun and exhilarating. So try to see that as a breakthrough and go into the butterfly rather than the sort of queasy part of it. Don't limit yourself by what you've done before, what you studied at school, what your parents want you to do, what your partner says you're capable of, what your friends or frenemies might be trying to make you think you can do. It's you. You're the source, as we saw with the sun. So lean into that source energy. Be authentic, express yourself. This is going to let you get into the star energy this month and really, really break through. We've got basically the sun is a star. We just call it the sun. So that's but when I see the sun, it's also source energy. It's the solar plexus. So your sun is within you. You're the source of your own light, and that's important. That's why we kind of see her holding the sun, but she is the sun too. Avoid speaking in a rush, in a hurry, or saying something that's too casual, because it could be misconstrued. You really want to make sure that you take your time, slow down. I could have done that a second ago, and just let everything sort of flow at the right time, at the right place. So don't get ahead of yourself. Otherwise, it'll probably boomerang, and you're going to have to contextualize or back up what you've said. So keep your records when it comes to receipts, emails, texts. All that stuff is going to be important. If you have to defend yourself for whatever reason, make sure that someone doesn't take away your chance to speak up. Again, representation, legal representation is super important. Increased visibility means that, on a bright note, that I feel like you have a platform this month. Use it, leverage it. You can make things happen. Help others if you can as well. Remember how hard it was to get where you're at. And make choices in how you invest your time and energy, kind of referencing the Six of Pentacles here, especially when you're picking up the slack for others, or you're just bit by bit giving a little bit too much, always staying late without being asked, always, kind of doing everything for everyone. Pull back just a little bit, because those small acts of energetic consumption are going to really allow you to make the change that you need to, and to let go of some things. But if you're constantly giving to others, it's going to be difficult to make that happen. And basically just say no at the end of the day. It's easier said than done, but it's super important. We have the tread lightly card here showing that a passage is necessary. And we also have like a tower reversed energy here, and we have a tower upright here. So change and movement, and you have to be careful as you kind of go through that movement. So take your time. The Hermit at the center, it feels like some of you are sitting on something amazing, but you're waiting for the right time. And you're also trying to balance it out. If we look at what the Two of Pentacles is touching, it's the Devil and the Ten of Wands. So timing and release. When can I do it? When is the right time to do it? So, and then we also have a card here that's saying, there will be a right time. The right time is around the corner. The Four of Pentacles says it really should happen soon, but do it when it feels right. Hopefully sometime this month for you. Five of Cups in the deep past, really just encouraging you to let go of what was, like I said earlier, and focus on what's possible. Movement is happening. Take that energetic portal this month, because who knows when it will open up again. Try not to overdo it when it comes to the load that you're carrying emotionally or physically. Again, breakthrough energy here, which is fantastic. You are the source. That's also part of what we see with that as well. With the Devil reversed, letting go of things that you don't need or want. Also letting go of people who can't allow you to kind of step into the light here. It's your time, it's your chance, or express yourself, as we saw with the sexuality card. Wheel of Fortune, positive new cycle, foundational card with the Four of Pentacles. I would like to see a little bit more when it comes to resources. I feel like you are tied or pulled a little bit thin. Two of Pentacles, Four of Pentacles, and that's why I was encouraging you to conserve. I believe, even though I didn't see the card, that the Six of Pentacles is possible if you make smart choices with respect to this, because 4 and 2, there you go. So I feel like it's there. You have it. It's just kind of spread in different places. Ultimately, you're going to be happy when November's done. For whatever reason, these changes that have to happen are going to put you into a good place. It's strategic too. This reminds me of another deck that I have where you see them on the checkerboard or the chessboard. So it feels like you're making some smart and strategic moves. Trust that strategy right now. Be in control. Cameras, there we go. We have the Emperor here reverse, which is saying don't cede your control to someone that shouldn't have it. Make sure that you are in the driver's seat this month. And then do what you can to connect with people. There's other people that are sad and isolated as well. Maybe check in, especially with kids that might be at college if they are, not kind of tele-learning right now, whatever that's called. But if they're not studying remotely, make sure that they're okay. Or if you're in a different city from your kids, or you want to check in on your parents or a sibling or a best friend, this is the time to do it. And as we look at other health issues, again, remembering not to carry too much of a load, figuratively or literally. Also making sure that just overall, when it comes to balance and attention, that you're not getting distracted, that you don't somehow kind of like trip and fall, because that can happen with the tower. So just focus and don't multitask too much. There are changes that are happening with your job this month that you have great control and ability to move. So speak up. Your voice really does matter. And as I used in my own example, if you wait too long, early bird gets the worm on that one. Someone else could step in. And in this time of restructuring, when jobs come and go, you want to make sure that you have that moment. You need to express yourself. And if someone in your life does not allow you to do that, there's a problem with them. And the sexuality to me is just expression. It's a power card because it comes from the second chakra and the fourth. So the fourth to me is just unconditional love. The second is creativity and expression. And if you can't express yourself and that's not happening in the relationship, then that needs to be healed pretty quickly. And if it can't, then it's probably time to move on, because that person's not allowing you to be yourself, basically. Whether it's your parent, your partner, or a friend, or whatever, that's not acceptable. You should be able to be you. And connecting the catalyst with the destiny card, it's all about perspective. And that's what the Air Guardian is showing us. Change your perspective and you change your life. So that's the quick review. Let's go a little deeper into the soul path. I'd like to look at the Tower and the Devil. I'm not afraid. Let's see what those energies are about. I like that the Tower is in the crowning position, and it's also on top of a positive card, so I'm not really scared of it. It's like, how can we avoid pitfalls, and what are we releasing? That's really what I see. So keep us on the right path. Show us what we need to know here. For some of you, it's about, I had this in my newsletter this month. I like this Fool card. It's about being able to take that next step. And sometimes we get scared by the shadows of what may be rather than what actually are. So don't let your fear get in the way. Also, don't be fooled by just people's projections that they put on you, because that is part of what we see in this. have some fun. This is the most playful Fool card that I've seen in a while. So play around with how you project your image and what you do in your life, because it's all, I think RuPaul said this, it's all drag. Like you're born and the rest is drag, something like that. We're always kind of figuring out new ways to express and project ourselves, right? So if you get a chance, I mean, you're watching this in October, and even in November, this is still here. Try on different experiences, different personas, different masks. Who are you? Figure that out. Sometimes you have to experiment a little bit and try something else on for size, on for style. So when it comes to your career, or like I said, maybe a relationship that breaks convention, who cares if it feels right? This is a calculated risk. And maybe you're going to discover who you truly are when you take this leap of faith. This Fool card actually is combined with the moon. You can see the moon, and we even have a little bit of that energy. And also, much like I've seen in the Wildwood Tarot, the moon card here has the sort of what I would see with the Six of Swords. There's that death. And so we have like an end and a beginning. This is the portal. This is what could be holding you back a little bit, is the fear or the frustration or the illusion. The illusion's also here, but there's a journey ahead of you. So are you going to let this bother you or this bother you, or are you just going to get on to the next part of the journey? The Fool, stop fooling around. Have fun, but like also commit to your path. There's a lot of all of that there. So when it comes to the Tower, you could just waste time. That could be the distraction. When it comes to the Devil, you could be afraid of projections or shadows of what may be rather than what actually is happening. So the Fool is saying it's time to move. It's time to go. Move, go. And you should be okay, all right? And embrace the positive energy of the Fool, which is new experiences, discovery, wanderlust, seeing what's out there, right? Some of you just miss traveling too, because the Fool is about like, but you can still take walks unless your city is under lockdown. I think Paris just recently went under lockdown, but assuming you can still get out there, take a walk, wear your mask, enjoy, but you've got to still, he's wearing his mask. You've got to get out there and explore the world a little bit, okay? So we've got the Two of Cups here, and this kind of sits nicely with the King of Cups. Some of you, maybe for the first time in a while, are allowing extra space for love and relationships to come into your life. I think because of the release that's happening, the Tower and the Devil, the Tower upright, the Devil reverse. So some of you are letting go or breaking through the codependencies. Maybe you're even letting people into your heart space, because this Four of Pentacles is more about building and allowing things to come in than covering up the heart. So yeah, this is a good time to allow new people in. Remember what I said earlier, though, as you start to meet people, just make sure that they're ready for what you're ready for. Are you guys on the same page? Because what I see as a key tenet to this card is the loyalty here. This little puppy that's there saying like, you know, I've got your back, you've got my back, we're okay. You need to feel that same sort of loyalty in the relationship and the same sort of availability, okay? I like these mermaids and mermen. That's a cool card. So give yourself a chance to sort of go there if you're ready, and maybe be surprised by love. And just because it didn't work in the past doesn't mean it won't in the future. And if you're trying to work it out in a relationship, there might be a chance to do so, but it has to be reciprocated. That would be sort of like the litmus test there. If that person's not reciprocating, it's time to move on. Time to kind of release that restrictive energy. So new partnerships, new friendships, new opportunities on the horizon for you. I like that. And now let's look at, I want to look at the perception card. We'll go into the Air Guardian a little bit and see like what she wants us to see. Queen of Pentacles, love it. Okay, so for those of you that are trying to make a change in your life, I do think that the work that you're doing will be well received. I love that this queen is being pampered here a little bit too. If there's a point in your life where you feel like I said earlier, like you've been doing all the caretaking, this is your chance to receive. And that's what I was saying, those small acts of conservation. If others won't do it for you, you should do it for yourself right now. You are, whether you're a guy or a girl, it doesn't matter. I read the energy without gender. You are the Queen of Pentacles. You deserve to be treated like royalty or divinity, because we are all connected to that divine energy. So this is your time. This is your place to sort of grow, evolve, and receive a little bit. So open yourself up to receiving. See yourself as a divine agent on this planet, a divine agent of creation, and open yourself up to the abundance that we see all around this card. Okay. This is a very positive kind of combination with the Sun card, because this is fertility. This is the birth or the delivery of that. Those of you that are looking to start a family, this bodes well. If you're not, be careful. But for those of you that are also looking at releasing something into the world, fantastic. This is a good time. Or trying something new or starting something new. This is you recognizing your ability to bring that to fruition. So channeling that energy and delivering it. And this is taking that to the next level. Okay. So Libra, it's your time to shine. Should be. I'm reading this in your birthday month, and spilling over past in like post retrograde. So November is looking really good for you. And for those of you looking in October, I feel like you've got enough of a head start to kind of make the necessary changes so that a lot of these things are not a big deal. And by the way, as I'm looking at the Tower card, I see like the god of destruction up here, enjoying it a little bit. So you could be an agent of change there. I really have to look close. I think Shiva's up there having fun and creating and destroying. So this is your chance right now to maybe make some changes that you want to do, and it feels good and it's not a big deal. So like I said, if you can get ahead of that, that's what I was looking at with the Tower reversed, then some really positive movement can happen for you. Okay. So I like what I see. But the name of the game this month for you is big changes, big movement, releasing old stuff, starting new things. And as we look at the soul path, the hardest thing for you, it seems, is just to take that first step. You might be surprised at what kind of support you get when you take that. You might even get, for some of you, the reason the devil came through is you might be questioning old alliances because the new people coming in are of a higher energy. And you start to think, wait, did I make a mistake by committing to this or doing that? So you're surprising yourself because now you're in your light or you're in the higher energy. And then we see something new. It could be a new job. It could be support. It could just be you taking care of yourself for the first time. And that's an attractive energy too. So if you do some of what we're looking at here, then you're pulling in better, higher, more positive partnerships. Even if you're not looking for love, it could just be a really good friendship. And I like that. Okay, let's meditate. And there's so much to look at in this spread, especially since we had like a double crowning card. As I look at all of this, I want to focus a little bit on how to ease out of the sort of there's the release stuff. Like how can we, we're going to go like between the two portals, looking at the past, looking at the present. We'll actually use the god Janus, which basically just has a face in both directions. And then we'll like dissolve, what is the posterior and go to the anterior, but we'll let go of one face and then we'll go into the other side. And then hopefully bring you into a better place, better light. All right, so I think that's what we'll focus on. Please stick around if you can for the meditation. And if you have to, for whatever reason, leave, but I hope you don't, please hit like and subscribe right now. And I'll let you know when I have new meditations out. All right, let's meditate, and a new readings out as well. Please get into a comfortably seated position and see yourself right at the dawn of a new day, looking out at the horizon. You can still see the moon and the stars above. And as you close your eyes, you can also smell the salty sea air, because we're right at the cliffs of the ocean, looking out at the horizon. And as you start to look at the stars above you and look at the ocean and sort of how everything's reflecting on the ocean, even from this distance, you start to sort of see in the theater of your mind moments from the past that are flashing by. And there's this question in your mind, am I ready to let that go? Do I still have some things that I need to sort out? As you kind of sit yourself here at the top of the hill, your heart, your soul, your energy starts to float above your body a little bit and walk towards that mirror, the water. And because you're astrally projecting, you can walk on the water. There's nothing to fear. And as you walk on the water, you start to look at the memories from the past, starting with childhood. going through school, going through the relationships in your life, everything leading up to the present. I want you to take a moment and look at those and think, where have I felt supported? And where have I felt like somebody just didn't understand me? And how do I feel about those people in my life? Am I still holding on to something? Do I still feel this sense that it's not enough or I'm not enough? Whoever made you feel that way or whatever made you feel that way, I want you to take your hand, hold your heart. Actually, you could warm up the energy if you need to feel that light and heat. And then take one of your fingers and touch that person in the past. And imagine that your heart space energy has the ability to transmute the connection between you and that person. So as you touch the energy on the water, it ripples, and the person either disappears or they go into a more positive light. And I want you to do that for each memory that you have that you don't want, you don't need, or that you feel now that I'm ready to release or to heal it. Imagine that as you do this, you can hear maybe even musical notes as you're touching the water, and you're bringing the energy into a higher frequency. And pretty soon, as all of the water starts to ripple, you actually see now that you've opened up this big circular portal. And one part of you is looking back at what was, the other part of you is looking forward at what's possible. And you feel like there's a hand reaching out that wants to pull you through the portal. It's you, it's the other you. And now you have to just decide before as I'm playing the singing bowl, let go of the memories that were, and then imagine what it is that you want to do, when you want to do it, and how you want to do it. And then I'm going to allow you to step through the portal and receive the upgrade, the embrace, and the energy that you need. But first things first, release all of the energy from the past. And when you're ready, take that hand and move through. Take a deep breath. Allow your higher self to pull you through the portal. And see that as you walk through it, the portal remains open and you have that guardian, Janus, there. And you are now in the new version of you, the new future that is awaiting you. And I want you to see all the light, all the love, because we saw a lot of love coming through with the King of Cups and the Two of Cups. Look at all the love and abundance that is awaiting you. All that's required is an acknowledgement that you are ready, that you're ready to move, that you're ready to receive. And your mantra this month is, I am ready. Yes, I'm ready. I'm ready for love and abundance in all forms. I'm ready for growth. I'm ready for expansion. I'm ready to shift my perception, to free myself. I'm ready. Allow that truth to burn strongly in your heart, in your belly, actually all of your chakras, feel them lighting up, and look back to the hilltop and allow your energy now to boomerang back into your body, going through your third eye, integrating again with who you are, bringing that vision of the future into the here, into the now, and allowing you to keep the energy, keep that truth of what's possible. in your mind so that you're not getting distracted, so you're not letting other people take you off the path. Sit for a moment and allow for all of that to integrate. Take a final deep breath. Inhale. Let it go. Gently open your eyes when you're ready. And welcome back. And I like Janus. I think it's a cool god to kind of meditate with, because one thing that is nice about it, or whenever I see it anyway, it does kind of hold the passageway open for you. So if you're feeling like I'm uncertain, just realize, well, I can walk through that. That God is kind of keeping that energy open for me. The only thing that I saw this month is I do feel like sometime over the month of November, you should move the needle forward and try to move to the next thing, whatever it is, make some traction so that you don't lose an opportunity on the horizon, okay? I just want to say thank you to everyone, especially all of you that were giving me really kind super stickers and super chats. I appreciate it. Some of them are very generous, and that means a lot. That helps me get new decks like the one that you're seeing. This is Tarot de St. Croix. And this is one that I bought a few months ago, and that's definitely a direct result of your kindness and generosity. So thank you guys so much. When this is on replay, I'll make sure to call you out. If you want to give back while I'm talking, you can do that by clicking on that little button there, or again on replay, you can use the applaud button, but only on the desktop or Android devices at the moment. Feel free to join me if you'd like to on social media. On all of these platforms, my username is just @Nicholas Ashbaugh. In fact, it is on everything except Twitter. On Instagram, Facebook, and YouTube, later in the day, I'll post, or in the evening, I'll post the index notes that I wrote. So I do a picture of that and a summary of all the messages that came through. So that's a great way to keep in touch. And then I also post clickable links on Facebook and Instagram. Just make sure that you're following @Nicholas Ashbaugh, nothing before, nothing after. Patreon's a great way to give back in a very small way if you'd like to, like $1 a month if you want to, or something like $11.75 annually. And it's a cool just way to kind of set it and forget it if you'd like. You can also join me on TikTok. Still figuring out what I'm going to do with that, but I'm on it. For those of you that are already channel members, thank you so much. I appreciate your support, everyone with green text and special emojis. You guys are awesome. If you just want to give back and you have limited budget and you want to know how you can help in a small way, but actually in a big way that helps me out, just hit the thumbs up and then subscribe. And then if you want to opt into notifications so you don't miss anything, those little things matter a lot because it's engagement and it makes the video kind of pop up higher. My Twitter account is @Ashbaugh, so you can follow me there. And if you want to give something through PayPal, you can do it at paypal.me/Nicholas Ashbaugh. And all of this is on my website, which is just my name.com, nicholasashbaugh.com. And if you have a hard time remembering anything, I don't blame you. It's not easy to remember how to spell my name. Just click on my profile picture, click on the About tab. All the links are there. Okay. Thank you so much. You're all amazing too. I appreciate you. Thanks for showing up. Thanks for being so supportive and really making this a wonderful reading today. I always look forward to Libra, magical energy, and a lot of big changes coming through for you. I was excited to see Queen of Pentacles here as we're looking at the soul path. That portends good growth no matter what you decide to do. And it was nice to see an elevation of the resource cards because they were a little limited prior to that. So you're on the right track. Don't give up. Okay. Thanks, everybody. See you again soon. It's Thursday. I'll be back tomorrow with Scorpio, and you can see the whole schedule on my website. Thanks, everyone. Have a great day and a great month ahead. Okay. Much love and light.